We've got the great debate. Then a little bit later in the show, we are celebrating International Country Music Day with not one but two country music stars. Craig Campbell, John Schneider are going to be with us here on Wake Up. Stay close.
Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold? Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
Go to MyPillow.com or call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
MyPillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's sleep.
I can sleep all night through, and it's a miracle for me.
Mike's exclusive 3-layer design starts with a layer of MyPillow foam, providing you superior support and comfort. The second layer of transitional foam evenly distributes body weight and helps relieve uncomfortable pressure points for optimal comfort. Mike's ultra-soft outer layer is a patented temperature-regulating cover that helps keep you at your ideal sleeping temperature all night long. Unlike other sleep systems costing thousands, the MyPillow mattress topper takes comfort to a whole new level without any wires, remotes, or moving parts. Call now or go to MyPillow.com to order your MyPillow topper. Use the promo code to save 30%. When you do, Mike will give you 2 of his standard MyPillows absolutely free. That's right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off your MyPillow topper today. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
When work flies out of control, Harrelson's Own keeps me cool as a cucumber.
When the kids turn unholy, Harrelson's Own keeps my patience divine.
Life can be chaotic, but Harrelson's Own CBD helps keep you calm through any storm. Harrelson's Own consistently delivers you full mind and body homeostasis. It's an organic, full-spectrum CBD in a refreshing oil spray. Our nano-emulsified technology makes it completely water-soluble, so your body absorbs it immediately. You'll start to feel it in seconds, not 60 minutes. It just makes everything feel better.
Give your life a boost.
It's just the best you've ever felt in your natural state.
Go to harrelsonzone.com to order yours now.
Let us exceed your expectations at the Greg Orr Auto Collection and Greg Orr Marine and RV. Choose from 19 new car brands and thousands of pre-owned vehicles for every lifestyle and budget. From BMW to Cadillac to Maserati and more. We have it all. And for you RV and boating enthusiasts, Greg Orr Marine and RV has an incredible selection of new and pre-owned RVs and boats from some of the biggest names in the industry. For more, please visit gregorauto.com.
Every new day offers opportunities to connect, chances to motivate and inspire, moments to express well-deserved thank yous and congratulations, with products that bring smiles, celebration, and long-lasting impressions. There's certainty in that. 4imprint gives you that certainty with the right promotional products and a caring, trusted team dedicated to your success. Creating meaningful connections starts at 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
Welcome back into Wake Up America. Happy Friday morning to you. It is a Friday, so we've got this great debate segment. If you've never seen it, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Here we go. We start with Democratic strategist and former consultant for the Department of Homeland Security, Mustafa Tamiz, is with us, and the former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCoy, is here. Good morning to you both. The final Friday of summer. Sad, but we will continue the great debate into the fall, and the winter, and the spring, and so on and so forth. Today's topic, simple and appropriate. Should General Milley resign? Betsy McCoy, ladies first, to you first.
Well, if the allegations are true that he went behind the back of the commander-in-chief and the Secretary of Defense to call his military counterparts in China, yes, he has committed treason. He should resign or perhaps even face a court-martial. It's very clear under our Constitution, which I'm holding right here, there you can see it, Article 2, Section 2, the president is the commander-in-chief. In our country, military people are never on top. They must report to civilians. So he's violated the Constitution, and he's also shown extremely poor judgment. It sheds light on why we abandoned Bagram Air Force Base.
All right, let me bring in Mustafa and get his response. Mustafa, I will just say one thing. The past couple of days, they've been saying, well, Donald Trump was unhinged. Donald Trump was insane after January 6th. We had no idea what he was going to do. What's getting missed, Mustafa, if you ask me, is the circumvention of the chain of command, something that is sacred since 1776 in this country.
No, I don't disagree about the chain of command.
Oh, perfect. All right, no, Mustafa, that's it. That's great. Thank you guys so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Rest my case. Have a great weekend, guys. I'm kidding. Go ahead. Rob,
I wish it was that simple. I mean, like we all agree about the chain of command of military. Militaries cannot function if you're not taking the order from the top. At the same time, I'm trying to understand the issue here. Was President Trump ever trying to attack China? Was there going to be a nuclear war in the last few days? If General Milley, let's say if the allegations are true, told someone, we're not going to attack you, and there's not going to be a nuclear war in the next few days. Like, I'm just trying to understand, did people think that the President Trump should attack and, launch, missiles against China? Does anybody think that's a good idea? Does anybody think that would be in the benefit of the United States in any way, shape, or form? Or does anybody think is President Trump going to do something like that?
Betsy, let me ask you a quick question.
If Milley is thinking that, he was the one who was delusional. He should still go.
He wasn't thinking that. He was saying that's not going to happen.
Wait a second. He should still go up the chain of command to the Secretary of Defense and then to the president, and let them know he has concerns. It is not his role to contact our enemies, military figures in China, and share his concerns with them. That is treasonous.
Betsy, so let me understand. You would want him to go to the Secretary of Defense and the President of the United States and say, hey, boss, we're not going to launch nuclear missiles and we're not going to attack China, right? Because that's what I want to convey.
Mustafa, timeout. Pause. Betsy, hold on one second. Hold on. The choreography would be what he would be supposed to do, is go to the Secretary of Defense at the very least. Mustafa, I don't remember getting a warning on September 10th about September 11th or December 5th about Pearl Harbor.
The first time. So let's take a look at Joy Reid's latest rant. Here she is.
What people like Tuckums and the Ben Shapiros and other right-wing bomb throwers want is not Nicki Minaj to have free speech. What they want is a vehicle to drag as many of her fans into their anti-vax camp as they can. They need and crave authentic members of the culture, hip-hop culture. Let's just be clear. They look down on that culture and hate that culture and would never, ever, ever support someone like Nicki Minaj other than to pull her onto their team.
Now, our team, Dave, are those folks standing up for critical thinking. This has nothing to do with race, and as you indicated, I can't name one Nicki Minaj song. But if you and I were sitting at a bar and Nicki Minaj walked in, we'd say, oh, hey, Nicki, come talk to us about your perspective, because we want to hear about this. And that's the difference between us and Joy Reid, right?
Sure. I'm fairly certain I have other political disagreements with Nicki Minaj, but it would actually at this point be irrelevant, and I would gladly sit down and chat with her about any of this stuff. But to use Joy Reid's words, let me be clear. Joy Reid is a complete maniac. I mean, she is an absolute liar. The idea that Tucker Carlson or Ben Shapiro, who is an Orthodox Jew,
Carlson.
Tuckums Carlson, but the idea that Ben Shapiro, an Orthodox Jew, is a white supremacist, when he gets more hate, I mean, they've done studies, online research about this, he gets more hate from the so-called alt-right than anybody. The idea that he's a white supremacist is absolutely insane. But this is all they've got. You know, for years they were running with that half the country's racist. Now they've sort of morphed it into half the country's racist and they're diseased, and now they're white supremacists too. It's all they've got. She's just an absolute liar. And John, I'm sure you've covered it on your show. You know, when Donald Trump was president, she was tweeting about how you can't trust the president and you can't trust the CDC and everything else.
That's right, because she was just echoing what Kamala Harris was saying. And by the way, Dave, did we ever get to the bottom of whoever hacked into Joy Reid's blog and posted all that homophobic stuff back in the day? I mean, that's still an open question, isn't it?
You know, as far as I know, John, our journalists out there somehow never finished up on that story. I'll have to check Twitter.
Yeah. Well, good luck over there on Twitter. What a place. All right, let's talk about Constitution Day. Now, back when I was in college, Dave, we celebrated Constitution Day. Let's be honest, we celebrated everything. But college kids these days aren't too into it. Campus reform went to Gainesville in the University of Florida to talk to students about a petition going around campus down there, and it calls for the abolishment of the Constitution. Take a look.
What do you guys think of the Constitution? Absolutely terrible. Needs to be redone immediately. I think it needs a lot more reform. It should be abolished. Like, it's time for a new Constitution. It wasn't like pronouns like they, them, stuff like that either. So we should include the new pronouns in the Constitution? Yeah, like to make everyone feel included.
So we're going to rewrite the Constitution, Dave. It's now going to start with they, them, me, he, she, whatever. The pronoun they always forget is we. We. The first word of the Constitution. We. Still a pronoun, right?
We the people used to be sane. We the people ain't sane no more. I mean, look, this is just such an extension of the disaster that critical race theory, that social justice, that the endless dishonest assault on all of our institutions and our history has wrought. Does it surprise anyone to hear any of this? Of course not. Yes, we should have gender pronouns in our new Constitution. The Constitution...
So ridiculous. Look, I can't even laugh. I can't even get through you saying it without laughing.
Look, the Constitution is, in my estimation, the most perfect man-made document to free people in the history of the world. It doesn't mean that all of the people that wrote it were perfect, nor any of us that now live by those laws are perfect. But those documents set up a country that for 250 years said, hey, we don't care where you're from, we don't care what you look like, we don't care what your religion is, et cetera, you can come here and make a better life for yourself. And John, I do this all the time when I'm at college events, but I would ask anyone watching this right now to think about your own grandparents. And is your life better or worse? And the answer, almost without exception, is better. That tells you that this thing, which is based in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, is pretty good. And the fact that these kids are being empowered by big tech companies and corporate media to destroy the most wonderful, precious country in the world is deeply depressing.
I know. You know, think about your grandparents. My grandparents lived through the Great Depression. They saved every piece of plastic, every margarine dish was used for a secondary purpose. And now I feel bad every time I look at my trash can at work and I've got 2 Uber Eats packages in there. We live in the best time in the history of mankind in terms of convenience and opportunity. And, you know, the Constitution was written in a way that it doesn't change unless we change it. But things like we have different meaning than they did in 1776. Now it incorporates all these races and religions and both sexes. It didn't necessarily mean that back then, but it means that now. And these kids aren't taught that. You know, you also talked about, you know, everyone has to be infallible now if they are going to be worshipped. And humans are not like that. That's another thing that these kids don't learn through all these participation trophies and you're perfect, you living your own individual truth. Life isn't like that. We're not perfect. Nobody is. But these kids want it. They want perfection.
Well, John, you know, the interesting part of this also is that we shouldn't just aim at the kids here, because of course everything you said is just right, but it's the adults that have failed them.
True.
You know, like when I hear these kids with the gender pronouns and sure, let's disassemble the United States and he, she, Zer, the whole thing. Of course it's ridiculous, but it's because they were allowed to learn these things. I mean, you know, my last book, Don't Burn This Book, was a defense of classical liberalism, of Enlightenment values and individual rights and things of that nature. But at the end of purely secular liberalism, you end up with this. You end up with people living in the freest society, as I said, in the history of the world, trying to disassemble it and not even knowing what gender they are at the exact same time. And those of us that want to save this country, we really have to figure this thing out, and soon, because the more that these colleges pump out these kids that are here to burn it down, which is exactly what the progressives have been teaching them this whole time, the quicker we're going to have to fix something or build something separate or defend this. we just need more of us, and we have to work harder.
Right, and that's the, aha moment. When you read the Constitution, you're like, wait a minute. This gives the power to me from the higher power to empower my government. Doesn't give it from the higher power to the government to empower themselves over me. And that's what I wish these kids understood. And you're right, it's not their fault. It's the adults who have failed them. All right, so Dave, when do I get my advanced copy of the new book?
We'll get that out to you soon. Do you want me, when I'm signing it, I usually would write your name or something, but can I do a he or a she or a we or a zer, or are you an Autobot? What are you these days?
My pronoun is bro. I go with that. So you can, just kidding. Or dude, whatever you want. But Dave, we'll see you soon. I look forward to reading the book when it comes out in April. Thanks so much as always.
Good seeing you, bro.
All right, dude. All right, coming up next, the search for Gabby Petito continues. Investigators believe that Gabby's fiance might have some critical information about her disappearance, but he's refusing to cooperate. We're going to get a live update from Leonardo Feldman, who is live in Northport, Florida, with more.
Federal agencies urge every family to have an emergency radio. During any disaster, electrical power may get cut. The emergency radio gives you the vital information you need. Newsmax wants you to have the Dynamo Emergency Band Radio. It doesn't need batteries and works in any emergencies. It retails for $30. You can get it with the free offer. Call or go online and get the emergency radio today. Your life may depend on it.
We can't control political volatility, inflation, massive government debt, or the wild swings of the stock market. But we can control where we put our money. Gold is easily outperforming the stock market the last 20 years. Protect your money. Buy gold. For your free direct bullion guide to buying gold, call 1-800-757-7050. During the 2008 recession, Americans lost over $2 trillion from their 401ks. For many people, retirement was no longer an option. But do you know what tried and true investment nearly doubled its value following the recession? Gold. Protect your money. Buy gold. For your free direct bullion guide to buying gold, call 1-800-757-7050. Start your collection today.
Guys, is this your new normal? My problem is right in the middle.
I got the back fat.
Of course, the love handle's here.
It's all right here.
It doesn't have to be. Get back in shape and lose the weight with Nutrisystem for Men. Now with a breakthrough fat burner that will burn body fat and help you stay hydrated. For a limited time, get a 1-month supply free with your Nutrisystem plan. Lose up to 18 pounds in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guarantee. Dude, your new home office a little too close to the fridge? You know where this is going. Make Nutrisystem for Men your new normal. Real food designed to help you lose weight, delivered right to your door.
That's all I did. I ate the food, I lost the weight.
Call America's #1 home delivery weight loss program. Act now and get your first month of the new Hydrating Fat Burner free with your Nutrisystem plan. Supercharge your water to burn fat and stay hydrated.
Go online or call 877-381-FIT6 to order your Nutrisystem plan and get the new Hydrating Fat Burner free.
Germs invade through your nose, the body's air filter. But how do you clean it? Navage uses powered suction to help flush out congestion, allergens, mucus, and viruses. Millions use drug-free Navage to breathe better and feel healthier. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Guys, are you tired of frequent nighttime bathroom trips? Well, Force Factor Prostate helps reduce urges to urinate, plus fully empty your bladder and promote a normal prostate size. Don't settle. Rush to Walmart for Force Factor Prostate from the #1 fastest growing men's health brand in America.
All right, welcome back to John Bachman. Now the search continues for Gabby Petito. She's the 22-year-old woman who went missing after a cross-country road trip with her fiancé. Newsmax correspondent Leonardo Feldman is live in North Point, Florida now with the latest. Hey, Leo.
Hey, John. Well, that house that you see behind me is the house where she used to live with her fiance and his parents. And what we know is that then she took that cross-country trip and her parents reported her missing on September 11th. but she was last seen on August 25th by her parents when she video chatted with them from Grand Teton National Park. Her mysterious disappearance now has a person of interest, her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, who authorities say is not cooperating with them, and neither are his parents. On August 12th, Petito and Laundrie had a police encounter in Moab, Utah, after someone saw them arguing. Police spoke with them, but neither Petito nor Laundrie decided to press charges. Petito's mother, Nicole Schmidt, spoke today with Wake Up America about this specific encounter.
I know he knows where the last place she was. He was the last person with her. So I don't understand why you would leave the love of your life somewhere and not tell anyone where she is.
And she is hoping that Brian Laundrie says something about her disappearance. And we also know that his sister, Cassie, Brian's sister, did speak to ABC News in an exclusive interview.
Obviously, me and my family want Gabby to be found safe. She's like a sister, and my children love her. And all I want is for her to come home safe and sound, and this to be just a big misunderstanding.
It is important to note that on August 13th, a newlywed couple was last seen alive in Moab, Utah, the specific town where the argument took place. And days after, the police found their bodies and determined that it was a double homicide. They are not ruling out a possible connection to that case. Authorities have seized the van Petito and Laundrie traveled in for possible clues in the Petito case and if that double homicide could be related. And Petito's family is pleading for help from the community here in Northport and across the country. We do know that her dad actually traveled here to Northport to plead Brian's parents to talk to the authorities about where she might be, because all he wants is for Gabby to come home safe. Back to you.
Leonardo, do we know if he's there inside the house? I imagine it's quite a scene there with a lot of other media surrounding it as well.
Well, yeah, media has been here throughout, the whole week, trying to see if there's any movement. I've been told by multiple of them that they haven't seen any movement at least since Wednesday. So possibly they might have left in the middle of the night. That's what some of them are telling me. But we still don't know if they could be in there because nobody has seen them leave. And some people actually saw them at the beginning of the week, at least the father of Brian, gardening in that house.
Well, police and others, including the Petito family, a lot of questions for Mr. Laundrie. Thanks so much, Leo. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk now about your Second Amendment rights on this Constitution Day. Nearly half of new gun owners over the past 2 years are women. This is according to a report from the Wall Street Journal. Data from the 2021 National Firearms Survey conducted by Harvard shows that over 3.5 million women and 4 million men became new gun owners since January of 2019. The market for firearms has been long dominated by men, but clearly things are balancing out now. And we knew this a long time ago, but we have some new data to talk about. And let's welcome in one of our good friends, spokesperson for the Gun Owners of America, Antonia Okafor-Cover. Now, Antonia, this is something you've been talking to us about for a long time. Just want to get your reaction to this new study from Harvard.
Yeah, my reaction is pretty similar to what you said. We knew this a long time, right? It's just the fact that the studies have finally caught up, and it's been really great to see the fruition of this movement, right? Gun rights are women's rights, this movement of women who are taking safety into their own hands. And so this is what the data is showing, and we saw an especially big uptick, a significant amount of women who got more firearms during this last couple of years. So it's been good to see that at least we're reaching the 50% goal when it comes down to this.
Now we're showing some video now of a gun show, and I think we need to go to a new gun show because I don't think this quite represents what we saw in that survey. Maybe we need to go to the one that you guys are having in Detroit. Tell us about the Gun Owners of America and what they're doing for the ladies who are interested in their Second Amendment rights in Detroit.
Yeah, so Gun Owners of America actually has sponsored the event that Rick Ector, a firearm instructor in Detroit, puts on every year. This is actually, it was his 10th year. We've been there sponsoring since 2019. Eric Pratt, who's the senior VP of GOA, actually has been there since the beginning. And so we've been working with him. And this year alone, we had over 2,000 young, young. I'll just say they're young, just to
young
say
at heart, if nothing else, right?
Young at heart, a lot of women were definitely excited to be there, but 2,000 women, predominantly African American, all different races, all different backgrounds were there, shooting mostly for the first time. And so it was a great event to be a part of. And really, it's something for me, it's especially emotional. A narrative for me that I've always pushed is my own personal story. You know, it's nothing different than what really people are going towards these days, is that they understand that self-defense is a paramount factor in their lives and they can take care of themselves and other people. And if you really believe about female empowerment and equal rights, then you're going to push the Second Amendment.
You know, we don't have a lot of time here, Antonia, and I always kind of gloss over this, but just real quickly, for folks who may not have seen you on the show before or familiar with you, just tell us real quickly what your personal story is and how you became a spokesperson for the Gun Owners of America.
Yeah, well, I actually started out, unfortunately, as a sexual assault survivor. That brought me actually to female empowerment. And I finally realized one day, as a leftist, I used to be on the left and anti-gun, that if I truly wanted to empower myself and other women, then I had to be a pro-Second Amendment advocate. And so I started Empower 2A, which is now part of Gun Owners of America, as their women's branch. And I'm the director of outreach now, helping them out.
You know, and that really is it. You hit the nail on the head. It's about personal responsibility and taking ownership of your own life and refusing to, to be a victim. You know, and so I'm always inspired by your story. And back to what you said, too, about these young women. I mean, when you see a woman, get empowered, do this, learn how to use a firearm, I do think there's like a new lease on life, if for lack of a better term, because they do feel empowered. They don't feel like they have to be victimized anymore. And I think you can tell this a lot of times. I know that for my wife, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, I got them concealed carry permit classes a long time ago. And just, it changes your outlook on life, and I think for the better as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's empowerment, and that's why I started the organization Empower, because there's no better word to describe what that feeling is after, again, you finally take that safety back.
Well, it's always great to talk to you, Antonia. And if anyone is in the Michigan area, Detroit area, and they want to attend, where can they go to find out more information?
Yeah, so we have it every year, so you can follow gunowners.org. We're going to be sponsoring it again next year, or you can go to Rick Ector. He's on Facebook. He is the mastermind on this, so all the attention should go towards him.
All right, well, I think you deserve some of the attention, too. Always great to talk to you, Antonia Okafor-Cover from the Gun Owners of America. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, it is Friday, and yes, Meme Team is back this Friday. We got a special edition and so much stuff to talk about. The Meme Teamers are standing by. Don't go away.
Have you noticed more bruising as you age? You're not alone. Now you can help improve the appearance of bruises with Dermen Moisturizing Bruise Formula. Help your bruised skin. Find Dermen Moisturizing Bruise Formula now in the first aid aisle.
I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. In 1787, 39 delegates came together to create a government for the people, by the people. This great document was known as the Constitution of the United States of America. This document opens with 3 simple words: we the people. The phrase we the people has grown to encompass a larger and more diverse group of ethnicities, religions, backgrounds, and opinions than ever. And only by working together can we ensure the bright future that our forefathers imagined will be brought into fruition. A future where liberty rings loud in the hearts of every American, as it was felt in the hearts of the men and women who fought so hard to create this great nation. Happy Constitution Day from Balance of Nature and United We Pledge.
After the hardest year ever, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are back.
Welcome to training camp.
with new hope.
Never would have wrapped my head around this as a little girl.
New determination.
I was just staring at them. You're going to watch me because I want this so bad.
And more open spots than ever before.
I am going to fight for my spot.
This season, to become a star, they'll need to rise up.
I just love dancing so much.
Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders making the team. New season premieres tonight at 9 on CMT.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO of MyPillow. My employees and I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for all your support. I would like to tell you about my new platform, frankspeech.com. It's an amazing new broadcast network and social media site with great shows, including my own live show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Also, you can go to frankspeech.com now to get the best prices on MyPillow and My Store products. For example, you can get my 6-pack towel set, normally $109.99, now only $39.99 with your promo code. And if you buy one of my Giza Dream Sheets, you get another one absolutely free with your promo code. So go to frankspeech.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive MyPillow offers. Thank you and God bless.
All right, welcome back to John Bachman Now. Meme Team is back this week, and we have plenty to talk about. We are going to welcome our Meme Teamers in for this week. Aaron Elmoy, Jack Brewer, and Chrissy Clark all standing by. We'll get to their favorite memes of the week in just a minute. But we start with the news, and we start with General Milley. We're still waiting to hear from him, and after these reports surfaced this week that he went around President Trump to warn China about a possible nuclear strike, and that prompted this classic Anakin Padme 4 panel from Newcomb here. I conspired to take control of the nuclear football and assisted China. That's treason, she says. And, of course, that's treason, right? Let's go back to that one real quick, can we, Tony? One more time. We got it. There you go. That's treason, right? The classic Star Wars 4-box. This sad Wolverine seeing Jean Grey kiss Cyclops comes to us from Dr. Harambe. That's the next one there. Yes, Wolverine there, very sad. He's the American, and Mark Milley making out with China. Of course, this is a meme, right? So just take it easy, everyone. All right, next up, the Met Gala. It generated a ton of memes, not just from AOC's dress. Some commentators saying it looked more like a Chick-fil-A bag than a formal gown. But Dre Fanzer and Devar Ashad collabing here. How rich liberals feel when they virtue signal. You can see the pores there, reaching for any handout they can get. Now, of course, Nicki Minaj did not attend the Met Gala because she's not vaxxed, and we already covered this with Dave Rubin. But now the memes on this topic. Ebeth, who is amazing, by the way, and a great follow if you're not already following Ebeth. She's putting Miss Minaj's face on Elle Woods' body here. Miss Minaj goes to Washington, and we'll see about that. There's some controversy there, of course, as well. And here's Newcomb again with the hashtag #MyBodyMyChoice. Wait, it's all? It always has been. This is that classic astronaut meme. I don't quite understand this one, but it makes sense if you think about it in a kind of like magic eye type sense. Now, also Joe Biden making the rounds this week, pushing vaccines, raising taxes on the middle class, and more, all while he refuses to take questions from the White House press corps. But no worries for the press corps and press corps member and Democratic activist Yamiche Alcindor. She's seeing red, not because she's not getting a chance to ask tough questions of the president, but because the White House press corps apparently is coordinating these days, wearing red. No, not because everyone's dressing the same. Here she is. President Biden didn't take questions, but we were super color coordinated, waiting and trying. We'll try harder next time, Yamiche. So with all the conformity on the press corps, Mike Dre added some hats here. I guess it reminded him of The Handmaid's Tale, and he's probably not the only one. Now, earlier we also showed you Emerald Robinson taking on Jen Psaki. Psaki actually shared some inaccurate information about monoclonal antibodies after accusing Emerald of asking an inaccurate question. I don't know how you do that, but it is ironic. Now, the White House is also cutting back the supply of those antibodies to red states. The move seems political, and it reminded some people of this scene from a SpongeBob episode. In this meme, Squidward is Ron DeSantis. The sick people are SpongeBob, feeling better because they're getting seltzer, I guess, or monoclonal antibodies. Joe Biden is Patrick, and he's clearly not happy with Ron DeSantis getting all this attention. All right, let's welcome in our meme teamers to go over their memes, Aaron, Jack, and Chrissy. All right, Chrissy, first to you on this one. And we had to do a little editing here because this is a lunchtime show. You know, anyone who's been to San Francisco or Los Angeles and stepped in something and thought it came from a dog, but Found out later it was something else. Might know what's behind those blurs, but we left it blurred anyway. Chrissy, explain your meme for us here from Grand Old Memes.
Yeah, of course. So I use this one all the time in my daily talks. Anytime I do something that is pathetic, bad, wrong, I tend to use this and say, we did it, Joe. It used to be Kamala Harris, but Grand Old Memes did a great job of putting Gavin Newsom's face over this to talk about the California recall election. And yes, I guess you could show the homeless people that have been blurred out, but just as easily you could have replaced this with heroin needles, and I think it would have been equally as funny.
Yes, that's true. We could do another version on that one maybe next time. And I bet Grand Old Memes is already probably working on that one. All right, Aaron, what do you have for us from our friend Midnight Mitch?
Oh, a little Nicki Minaj. I love that she is coming out so powerful, and there's been so much talk for people on the right. They're saying she's coming out harder than the Republican politicians. And you know what? All she's doing is asking questions. She's not an anti-vaxxer. She's basically just saying, hey, I don't need to pander and go to the Met Gala. I may get the vaccine, but I'm doing my research. So people on the right are really cheering her on these days. We're saying she's a little based and probably MAGA, but now she has that invitation to go to the White House. So we shall see from the Queen, Nicki. So I really love this one. Go Nicki Minaj. At least you've had the power to speak up.
All right, I want to open this one up to the whole meme team here real quickly, too. I mean, do we actually think Nicki Minaj is going to go to the White House? Do we actually think, Aaron, that Jen Psaki and Joe Biden have the intestinal fortitude to welcome Nicki Minaj in, you know, after this? I mean, we know they let in whatever his name is, the intern with the long fingernails, and the sign guy was there as well. But do we actually think they're going to bring Nicki Minaj there? I mean, it could get a little spicy.
I think that they wouldn't know how to handle her, especially Joe with his limitations mentally, if you will put it kindly. I don't know that this visit will actually happen. If it does, it will probably be an extremely staged photo opportunity because Nicki is a loose cannon. Right. She says what's on her mind. She speaks freely. She spoke about sticking marbles places the other day. So you can't control her. You don't know what's going to come next. This would be too much of a crapshoot if it was my administration, but clearly it's not.
And Jack, I've been dying to talk to you about this as well because, you know, you and I have had conversations about music, not specifically about Nicki Minaj's music, but about some of the issues in rap culture today that is, you know, detrimental for kids. You don't want them hearing this stuff. And we don't like her music. I'm guessing you don't. I'm not a big fan. But we're not the type of people that are going to exclude her from being right on this just because we don't like one thing she does, right? And that's what you see from the left too often. If there's one thing that you do that they don't like, then you're dead to them.
You're actually seeing it from the left and the right. I've seen, you know, several black leaders who are standing against what her music means. I agree with that. I don't agree with her music, but just because someone makes a mistake, we have to remember that we got to give people mercy. She's right on this topic, and so I'm going to say that she's right on this topic. That does not mean that I support her lifestyle or everything else. So when the left tries to go deep and try to virtue signal, we all have issues and things that we have to overcome. I hope this is an enlightenment period for Nicki Minaj. The world should be excited to see that she's actually thinking for herself and bold enough to stand against all these folks, even if it means losing fans. And so, you know, this is going to hit her pocketbook. So I think what she's doing right now is really positive.
Yeah. And Chrissy, real quickly to you, would it be better than the Kanye West Donald Trump situation? I mean, in just terms of like, you know, magnetic kind of TV action, I would love to watch it, just almost like watching a train wreck.
No, I just want to be a fly on the wall for the comms intern that has to explain the difference between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B to Joe Biden. I feel like he's going to go up to Joe Biden, or someone's going to go up to him and have to be like, no, you haven't met her before, actually, Joe. So I just would love to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, he used to hang out with her in Corn Pop at the pool a long time ago. All right, that's a throwback. Anyway, we got a little time left here. I want to get to Jack's meme because I love this meme and because it's keeping true with Jack's brand. Always keeping true with his Christian faith here. And this is an exasperated woman looking, wondering which chapter of Revelations we're going to be doing today. Jack, explain this for the uninitiated at home, what's going on here.
Well, if you've never read Revelations, I really suggest that you do that right away, and you'll understand that all of this stuff is literally like you're reading a new chapter. You know, you're seeing lawlessness in the streets. I mean, I remember when George Floyd and riots start happening, you're seeing riots in the streets. You're seeing pestilences, right? We have coronavirus spreading. It's like every day they're pushing out this media narrative on how many people died. And I mean, that went on in our country for like 2 years. And then, you see earthquakes, you see the disaster in Haiti that happens, and you see the hurricanes sweeping through New Orleans. I mean, it's like every day you wake up, there's something else that's coming right from Scripture. It's almost to the point where it becomes like watching TV in real life.
Yeah. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction related to the TV. I'm not talking about the Book of Revelations, of course, but we'll leave that there. Great job, guys. As always fun. And, as Jack was saying, this is serious stuff, but if you can't at least have a little fun with the times these days, well, you're going to go insane. At least I think so anyway. Jack, Aaron, Chrissy, thanks so much for playing along with us. Always fun, guys. Thanks so much.
God bless.
Stay with us. We got more stories coming up. Your catch-up is next.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else. Call or go to mypillow.com right now to get your very own Giza Dream bed sheets. Use the promo code to save 50% as low as $49.99 a set. That's 50% off at my lowest prices ever. I personally guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
The Great Reset, the Green New Deal, trillions in deficits. John Kerry says that'll happen with greater speed and greater intensity than people imagine. Bernie Sanders now runs the Senate Budget Committee. Sanders can't wait to pass policies addressing, quote, structural problems in American society, even if he has to stretch legal boundaries to get them through. Bank of America forecasts that the Democrats will inject $4 trillion in deficit spending in 2021. Goldman Sachs says it's time to buy gold, the currency of last resort. Call Patriot Gold Group today at 800-798-4260. Learn how easy it is to invest in physical gold and silver. Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated dealer 5 years in a row. They are patriots serving patriots. Call now, 800-798-4260.
Do you take aspirin? Plain aspirin could be hurting your stomach. New Vazalore is the first liquid-filled aspirin capsule clinically shown to cause fewer ulcers than plain aspirin. Vazalore is designed to help protect, releasing aspirin after it leaves your stomach, where it is absorbed, to give you the benefits of life-saving aspirin to help prevent another heart attack or stroke. Heart protection with your stomach in mind. Try new liquid-filled Vazalore. Aspirin made amazing.
With FanDuel Fantasy, if you get your lineup just right, you can make season-long wins without the season-long waits. FanDuel Fantasy. New customers play free all season long. No deposit required. FanDuel. Make every moment more.
All right, welcome back. It's time for your catch-up. Amanda Brilhante joining us now with a few stories to take us behind the headlines. Hey, Amanda.
Hi, John. Here's what we're watching right now. Jane Powell, a star actress of Hollywood's golden age of musicals, has passed away. Among her most well-known films in the 1940s and 50s were the MGM musicals Royal Wedding and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Now, Powell's longtime friend, Susan Granger, confirmed that the actress died of natural causes at her home in Connecticut. She was 92 years old. Meanwhile, hours-long downpours in parts of the D.C. area, creating a hectic evening commute, leaving many roads flooded. overwhelmed storm drains and runoffs, creating dangerous driving conditions, as you can see on your screen. And 3 police officers are being called heroes after saving a man from a burning building. Take a look at this footage here. Now, that man was found unconscious late last month. And as you can see, the 3 officers pick him up and carry him down those stairs and out the building. The officers were responding to that apartment fire when they spotted him. Now, he was in critical condition, but has since improved and is now in stable condition. And police in Orlando, Florida, evacuating dogs and cats trapped inside a burning animal shelter. Unfortunately and sadly, 23 of those cats died in the fire, but firefighters and staff were able to save all of the dogs. Pest control service Terminix Global Holdings has come out with a list of the most bedbug infested cities in America, with Los Angeles taking the #1 spot. Cleveland, Philadelphia, Detroit, and New York rounded out the rest of the top 5. With the analysis also pointing out the college campuses have particularly high levels of bedbug infestation. John, that's today's catch-up. I can't say I'm surprised, but I am a little grossed out.
Yeah, that is so gross. And yeah, bed bugs. Not going to those cities anytime soon. Did they say why those cities?
I was going to say, at least you don't live in one of them.
Yeah, did they say why those cities have a higher tendency for bed bugs? Just population?
No, but if I had to put my money on it, I mean, when we talk about college campuses, it's a lot of people in very small living places. A lot of those rooms have 1, 2, 3 beds in there.
Mm-hmm.
You look at New York, it's apartment living, it's close quarters.
Yeah, and not recycling those mattresses probably either. Great to see you, Amanda. I'm going to go take a shower after the show is over, right away. Good to see you. All right, still ahead this hour, college students unenrolled by their university for not complying with COVID rules, plus what public health officials are doing about that situation with those immigrants down in Texas. Dr. Jha will join us next.
They call you the dumb money. They, meaning the big firms on Wall Street, don't want you to succeed unless you hand your money over to them. They use your inexperience against you. But I stand with you, the individual investor driving this market. I'm Charles Payne. We're in the midst of a retail investor revolution, and I want to arm you with the strategy to help maximize your investing and not settle for crumbs. It's a strategy I've been using for years to beat the market. I give you all the details of my newest book, Unstoppable Prosperity. And today, I want to give you a copy for free.
Just cover shipping to receive Charles Payne's new book for free. Call or go to UnstableProsperity.com right now, and you'll also receive all these additional free gifts. Together, a $134 value, yours free. Call 800-810-6767 or go to UnstableProsperity.com now. That's 800-810-6767 or UnstableProsperity.com.
Guys, is this your new normal?
My problem is right in the middle.
I got the back fat.
Of course, the love handle's here.
All right here.
It doesn't have to be. Get back in shape and lose the weight with Nutrisystem for Men. Now with a breakthrough fat burner that will burn body fat and help you stay hydrated. For a limited time, get a 1-month supply free with your Nutrisystem plan. Lose up to 18 pounds in your first month. Lose weight fast. Money back guarantee. Dude, your new home office a little too close to the fridge? You know where this is going. Make Nutrisystem for Men your new normal. Real food designed to help you lose weight, delivered right to your door.
That's all I did. I ate the food, I lost the weight.
Call America's #1 home delivery weight loss program. Act now and get your first month of the new Hydrating Fat Burner free with your Nutrisystem plan. Supercharge your water to burn fat and stay hydrated.
Go online or call 877-381-FIT6 to order your Nutrisystem plan and get the new Hydrating Fat Burner free.
Have you experienced the delusion cascade? It is where one person, without knowledge of facts, condemns something in society, and the masses join them to bully and protest. Where does this sweeping behavior of being uninformed or ignorance come from? I share this origins and the agenda in my new book.
In hope for this present crisis, Dr. Michael Youssef presents a 7-part plan providing practical steps on how to be a godly influence in our society and how to take a stand for our faith in a culture aggressively opposed to the truth. There is hope for this present crisis if we act now.
This book is now available to you for just the cost of shipping and handling, $4.95. And if you order today, Dr. Yusuf will also include the action guide, practical questions and answers for this present crisis. Call or go online today for your free copy.
Did you know silver might be the most useful commodity on Earth? We need it to make solar power, cars, electronics, batteries, and because silver is an antiviral bactericide, demand is skyrocketing. Here's why Robert Kiyosaki loves silver.
The stockpiles of silver are depleted, so the demand for silver is going up just as stockpiles of silver are going down. Silver still has the biggest run coming up.
Call Lear Capital now for this free report, Silver's Biggest Run. See why experts think the price of silver is set to soar.
I believe silver is on its way to a new record high.
I'll say it again, I love silver because it's affordable, and everybody can own some silver.
The report is free, but the information is priceless. So call now. Then ask how you can get up to $5,000 in bonus silver. Call 800-450-6767. 800-450-6767. 800-450-6767.
All right, welcome back. Louisiana State University, LSU, is set to expel or unenroll, their word, almost 80 students for not meeting their COVID-19 vaccine requirements. A spokesperson for the school, Ernie Ballard, confirmed that there are a total of 78 students who will be dropped for non-compliance with the school's guidelines. Those students were notified via email. And joining us now to talk more about this is Dr. Ashish Jha. He is the Dean of Brown University's School of Public Health. Dr. Jha, great to have you with us.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
All right, so as far as the science goes here, the typical college-age person, they're not at a high risk of death or hospitalization from COVID-19. And, you know, LSU isn't alone with these types of standards. Are they taking things too far?
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, look, I think universities have a right to try to create a safe space against the virus. It's true that most students are pretty low risk, but students interact with faculty and staff who may be higher risk. And by the way, we have policies on vaccine mandates that we've had forever against measles and mumps, and et cetera. So I think universities are doing something that's very much within their rights. And I wish that we didn't have to come to this and we could find a better way out of this and to have expel students.
Yeah, obviously, university is a different environment than when dealing with like a federal government type situation. You wonder about the long-term effects of this, and you think these kids might comply because losing out on a college education probably more harmful long-term for these folks than getting COVID in the short term, at least from the risk standpoint. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about as well. To your credit, I watch you all the time on our network and others as well. Your bedside manner, I want to give you some compliments on that. And I feel like you're a very effective communicator because of that. And, I thought about your compassion on these topics, and I wanted to get your take on what's going on down on the border. When we see this video, the migrant population under that bridge in Del Rio, Texas, we're hearing about women giving birth there. We've seen video of people bathing themselves in the Rio Grande River. These are not healthy conditions. This is the United States of America. It's not a refugee camp someplace else. I mean, what do you see in terms of a public health risk when you look at this video?
Yeah, it's awful, right? This is not where we should be as a country. We should not have scenes like that. And there are risks that come from COVID and people cramped up together like that, but obviously all sorts of other health risks. As you pointed out, people bathing in the river, giving birth. We've got to do a much, much better job of dealing with migrants who show up on our borders, taking care of them, testing them for COVID and isolating once they're infected, making sure people have sanitary conditions. I don't know all the details of why we're failing as badly as we are there, but we've got to do better.
Right. There's the issue of them, in the border. That's a whole other separate issue. But the fact is they are here now, and they are on our soil. And this is really a government-run facility, for lack of a better term. It is now the responsibility of the U.S. federal government to deal with this situation. It doesn't look like they are doing that. Another topic, too, I wanted to discuss with you. We were talking about these monoclonal antibody treatments. And again, not getting to the politics of this, we did hear from Ron DeSantis say that maybe later on in the winter, the need will be greater in other states besides these southern states. Do you see that as a likely trend?
Yeah, I do. Look, so let's talk about the science behind monoclonal antibodies. They work really well at preventing hospitalizations and deaths. They're not 100%, but they are good for high-risk individuals. So if you get infected and you get to them early enough, they make a difference in preventing hospitalizations and deaths. That's the good news. And therefore, and by the way, they're mostly used in unvaccinated people, but a few vaccinated people who are high risk may benefit from them as well. I do expect to see more of them being used. I still think there's no doubt about it. The science is clear that getting vaccinated is still a much, much better approach, because then you're basically making your own natural antibodies. But if you have not gotten vaccinated, it is definitely one path that you can pursue. It's not going to be as good as having a natural immunity, but it is helpful.
Well, the way things are going now, we do see a kind of a downtick, I guess, in cases, and we hope that is a long-term trend. But right now, we need every arrow in the quiver to fight this thing. Monoclonal antibodies, the vaccines are important as well, and other treatments. We try to consider them all. Dr. Jha, great to see you. Thanks so much. Great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me back. Take care.
Anytime. All right, when we come back, we're going to wrap up this week and some Australian soldiers who did their part to entertain Afghan refugee children. And we'll tell you why these Afghan children's parents might have something common with all of us parents here in America. Don't go away.
Closed captioning brought to you by MagnaLife Leg and Back Pain Relief for pain-related symptoms of sciatica.
Tired of pain radiating down your leg and lower back? Get relief, finally, with MagnaLife Leg and Back Pain Relief, and get living.
Available at your local retailer.
This was when I noticed how white my son's teeth were and how yellow mine were, and I needed to make a change.
My smile's yellowish or dingy, and it definitely made me self-conscious.
I can't magically become younger, but I can certainly look younger. And I'm doing that with Smile Actives.
Introducing Smile Actives, the teeth whitening breakthrough that gets your teeth white and keeps them white.
I eat the blueberries, I drink the coffee, and I know that Smile Actives will keep my teeth white every day.
What makes Smile Actives different is that when added to any toothpaste, its revolutionary PolyClean technology activates, transforming into a powerful microfoam that goes into the enamel surface to lift and remove stains.
You need a simple way to whiten your teeth. Without strips, without trays, without going to the dentist. And it was about time that a product was developed that you would be able to do that with just brushing.
Look at the power of Smile Actives on years of food stains and even coffee and wine stains. Smile Actives is safe and effective and also works on veneers, crowns, and dentures.
This is after using Smile Actives, and you can really see how white my teeth are now next to my son's.
Why spend hundreds of dollars for whitening treatments at the dentist when you can whiten your teeth at home with Smile Actives for just $19.95? Order in the next 5 minutes and you'll get a second Smile Actives Power Whitening Gel absolutely free. That's a 50% savings. Perfect for travel, work, or to share with family or friends. Order right now and we'll sweeten the deal and include free shipping. That's 2 for the price of 1. Yours for just $19.95. Best of all, Smile Actives will get your teeth 6 shades whiter, guaranteed, or your money back. Hurry and take advantage of this special TV offer not available in stores. Call 1-800-806-0090 or go to smileactives.com. That's 1-800-806-0090. Order now.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO of MyPillow. My employees and I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for all your support. I would like to tell you about my new platform, frankspeech.com. It's an amazing new broadcast network and social media site with great shows, including my own live show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Also, you can go to frankspeech.com now to get the best prices on MyPillow and My Store products. For example, you can get my 6-pack towel set, normally $109.99, now only $39.99 with your promo code. And if you buy one of my Giza Dream Sheets, you get another one absolutely free with your promo code. So go to frankspeech.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive MyPillow offers. Thank you and God bless.
I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. In 1787, 39 delegates came together to create a government for the people, by the people. This great document was known as the Constitution of the United States of America. This document opens with 3 simple words: we the people. The phrase we the people has grown to encompass a larger and more diverse group of ethnicities, religions, backgrounds, and opinions than ever. And only by working together can we ensure the bright future that our forefathers imagined will be brought into fruition. A future where liberty rings loud in the hearts of every American, as it was felt in the hearts of the men and women who fought so hard to create this great nation. Happy Constitution Day from Balance of Nature and United We Pledge.
All right, welcome back. Take a look at this. Some Australian soldiers entertaining evacuated Afghan refugees with Baby Shark at an airbase in the UAE. And I think, you know, obviously, if these folks come to this country or wherever they wind up, there's always going to be some cultural differences. But one thing parents around the world, I think, can agree on is that Baby Shark is an awful song, and it will ruin your brain. You'll get stuck in there. You can't get it out. You need like a plunger or something. Anyway, let's get over to Bob and Heather now with a preview of what they're talking about today. Very cute to see there, guys. But Baby Shark, I'll be better if I never hear that song ever again. I got 3 kids. Never again.
I'm with you. I'm
never
with you.
Again.
But thank you for putting it in our head today by
yes.
playing
You notice I didn't actually make everybody hear the song. That was kind of the goal here. If you hear it, like I do already.
We appreciate that.
It's just residual. It rattles around in there. Anyway.
Exactly.
What do you guys got coming up?
Well, we're going to perhaps take part of the Pentagon briefing that is going to happen during our hours coming up, and we'll see if they have anything to say about General Milley and all the controversy surrounding him. That's one of the things.
And also, Alan Dershowitz is going to be along. We're going to talk about the Durham report. You know, what's going on there? And it's the story that won't go away, and we're going to take a look at that. No baby sharks that we're talking about today. But I will say this, if there's any hope, John, my wife is a teacher in the D.C. area, and she has Afghan children now in her classes. Wow. And she said, the kids are just kids. Right. Kids are the same no matter where they're from. So hopefully they get a good start.
Right. A lot of the bad stuff is learned later in life, and we can't forget that kids are still kids. Great to see you guys. We'll see you in a couple seconds. And take care. Also coming up later today, Representative Victoria Sparks will join Spicer and Company at 6 p.m. and Congressman Michael Waltz will join Greg Kelly at 7. And again, American Agenda is up next. We'll see you on In Depth this weekend and back here on Monday at noon Eastern.
And welcome to American Agenda. I'm Heather Childers.
I'm Bob Sellers. This hour we're going to hear from our own Emerald Robinson regarding new developments in the Durham probe.
Also, the Customs and Border Control releasing new border crossing numbers for August, breaking more records. We'll show you some shocking new video showing migrants waiting under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas, growing by the thousands.
Plus, how many New York City restaurants are actually complying with the city's vaccine mandates? We're going to talk to our panel about the staggering number of businesses who are refusing to go along with them and what the cost might be down the road.
But we begin today's coverage with new developments in the Durham probe. The grand jury handing down an indictment to attorney Michael Sussman for lying to the FBI. White House correspondent Emerald Robinson has the latest details. Emerald?
Hi, Bob and Heather. Well, that Perkins Coie lawyer, Michael Sussman, pled not guilty to one count of making a false statement. This is part of U.S. Attorney John Durham's ongoing investigation into the Russiagate investigation scandal. Sussman was released on bail and will await his trial. The 27-page indictment from Durham details Sussman's efforts to push the debunked Trump Alpha Bank conspiracy, Alpha Bank being a Russia bank. In the indictment, it says, quote, Sussman provided the FBI General Counsel, who was James Baker at the time, 3 white papers, along with data allegedly containing evidence supporting the existence of this purported secret communications channel. Durham goes on to say that during the meeting, Sussman lied about the capacity in which he was providing the allegations to the FBI. Sussman stated falsely that he was not doing the work on the aforementioned allegations for any client, which led the FBI General Counsel to understand that Sussman was only acting as a good citizen, merely passing along information, not as a paid advocate or political operative. Now, Sussman, we now know, was working for the Hillary Clinton campaign at that time as a cybersecurity attorney. Not included in the indictment, but is relevant to the story, is that Sussman also puts the information to the notorious Christopher Steele, who then put it in the now discredited Steele dossier, but later Steele admitted he knew nothing about Alpha Bank personally. When deposed in a British court, he had just simply relied on Sussman's account. Now, Sussman is the second person to be indicted from the Durham investigation. The first was a former FBI lawyer, Kevin Kleinsmith, who was found guilty of falsifying documents and email, to be specific, in order to further target Carter Page. Kleinsmith, however, only received 1 year probation as a part of his conviction. Now, many of the people who were targeted in the Russia scandal and had to spend thousands on legal fees, and some even losing homes, are not really very impressed with what the U.S. Attorney John Durham is doing just yet. And even with this latest Sussman indictment, they feel that there are others who are bigger players, though they do say that Sussman was part of getting this conspiracy going. An Obama appointee, Judge Christopher Reed Cooper, has been assigned to Sussman's case. If convicted, the former Clinton lawyer could face up to 5 years in prison. Bob, Heather.
All right. Thank you, Emerald. Well, here to discuss further is Professor Emeritus of Harvard Law and author of the book Guilt by Accusation, Professor Alan Dershowitz. Thank you very much for joining us. So, do you think that he will, in fact, be found guilty?
No, I don't. This is an extremely weak case, one of the weakest I've ever seen. First, it's his word against the word of the FBI agent. He says, no, I didn't say that. The FBI agent says, yes, there are no witnesses. Number two, it's a matter of interpretation. Did he convey the information as a good citizen, or because he was being paid, or a combination of both? And third, why is it material? The information is the information. What's the difference if he provided it as a lawyer or as a good citizen? It's an extraordinarily weak case. I never predict the outcome of cases, but boy, I surely wouldn't plead guilty if I were he. I would go to trial and fully expect that he has a very, very good chance of being acquitted. If this is the best Durham can come up with, then it probably wasn't worth the expense and the expenditure. Maybe it's the beginning of more, and every case has to be judged on its merits. But this case gets a D+ with great inflation.
Could it be a situation where it's a tip of an iceberg and there's more to come, and this is just step one?
It could be. First of all, it should not be a crime to lie to the FBI. The FBI lies to people all the time. It's part of their work model to lie, to overstate, to exaggerate. And the idea that you're not under oath, you're in a conversation, and you may distort the truth or lie, it shouldn't be part of our criminal justice system. It's part of criminalizing political differences. So I think this is an extraordinarily weak case on the law and on the facts. Maybe it's the beginning of something more. And everything I've heard about Durham is very, very positive. So I would expect that maybe he would come up with something more substantial. But if this is the legacy of his several-year journey, it's not very much to show for an enormous amount of investigation.
What about the statute of limitations and time running out on all of this?
Well, I think they indicted him the day before the statute was to expire. That's very common. That's very typical in these cases. And if it was for something serious, for example, the prior case, distorting records, tampering with records, that usually can be proved. But his word, my word, what did I say? Did I really mean when I said I wasn't acting on behalf of somebody, I was doing it as a good citizen? It's so much a matter of interpretation. It should not be criminalized. It should not be a crime to state something to the FBI, which the FBI then says was less than perfectly true. It also has to be material to the investigation. I don't know why it's material. If he disclosed information, it's the information. What's the difference what his motive was, whether it was a mixed motive? It just seems to me like an extremely, extremely weak case.
Okay, let me turn your attention to General Milley. We've heard explanations that in the course of conversations, he was fine talking to the Chinese. And then we heard, well, wait a minute. He's telling them, if we attack you, don't worry, I'll give you a heads up. And then he's having meetings reportedly with people saying, if the president issues orders, come to me first. What's your take on that constitutionally?
Well, constitutionally, the president has the authority as commander-in-chief, and it can't be undone by a military person. It undercuts the notion that's central to our Constitution, and that is the military does not make decisions involving ultimate military actions. That's done by civilian authorities. But the facts are very obscure, and I think we have to find out precisely who said what, when, what the exact words were. It's a very, very serious charge to say that a general tipped off our enemy and let out national security secrets. But before I form a judgment, I need to know precisely what was said, in what context, why it was said. I'm sure he thought he was doing the right thing. I'm sure he did think that there was a risk in the last days of the Trump administration, but that doesn't justify taking over military control of what ought to be a civilian decision.
Would it fall under the legal definition of either treason or insurrection, two words that we've heard thrown around a lot recently?
No, Constitution defines treason as taking arms, and clearly not. It would not be treason under the Constitution. Insurrection is something very, very different. Look, it sounds, if it's true, like it was bad policy and could result in somebody being fired from their job. But criminalizing these things, again, is a mistake. It's a mistake when Republicans try to do it to Democrats. It's a mistake when Democrats try to do it to Republicans. We ought to disarm from the criminal justice system and charge people with crime only when they basically satisfy the Hamlet soliloquy. To be or not to be a criminal. Am I going to step over that line? It should be a knowing decision that you have committed a felony. And I don't think that any of these cases satisfy what should be a daunting criteria before somebody is charged with the most serious thing a person can be charged with under American law, and that is a serious crime.
Well, we know that he's supposed to testify at least regarding Afghanistan on the 28th of September, so I'm sure the question will come up. Maybe we will find out more content.
And he'll testify under oath. And if he testifies falsely, that would be a good basis for prosecuting, because when you're under oath, you have to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
All right. Alan Dershowitz, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Coming up, President Biden laying out his tax agenda today. Our next guest breaks down how disastrous President Biden's tax increases could be for a lot of Americans. More of American Agenda after this.
Congress created rules to help you retire. All you had to do was work hard, save, and play by them. But now, Congress has changed the rules on you in the middle of the game. They've created new traps that could force you to pay a 50% punishment tax if you make one wrong move. The Wall Street Journal called it a bait and switch. Everything you worked for could be at stake. To find out more, get the new Retirement Savings Time Bomb by Ed Slott. The best-selling book reveals how to skirt the new tax traps. Claim your free copy today. Supplies are limited, so act now.
For every ransomware infection, there's a failed blacklist antivirus. PCMatic's whitelist security turbocharges any antivirus and stops ransomware before it starts. PCMatic starts at $50 for 5 devices for 1 year with a full 30-day money-back guarantee. Reinforce any antivirus in homes, businesses, and governments. Stop reacting to cyber threats. Prevent them. We still have time. Go to PCMatic.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. For a limited time, you can get premium MyPillows for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98 with your promo code. Only $29.98. That's a $40 savings. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. That's why over 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted it to have everything you'd ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so that you could have the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that stays healthy, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable.
For a limited time, you can get a premium MyPillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98. That's a $40 savings with your promo code.
I back my pillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
Before MyPillow, sleeping was a nightmare. First night I got it, slept like a baby. Just was out, completely out.
I sleep better. I wake up, I feel refreshed, I feel healthy.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
I personally guarantee that my pillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own. And as a way of saying thank you, I'm offering you my lowest price ever. Only $29.98 for a queen-size premium MyPillow.
Call or go to MyPillow.com to take advantage of Mike's best offer ever. Use the promo code on your screen to get a queen-size MyPillow Premium for only $29.98, regularly $69.98. Get a king size for just $5 more. It's the lowest price ever, only $29.98. That's a $40 savings. This is a limited time offer and not available in stores. Don't delay, order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
President Biden's meeting with top Democrats this week with the hope of advancing his agenda, but he's finding that harder to do with an approval rating below 50%.
National correspondent Logan Raddick joining us live on Capitol Hill with details. Logan.
Bob, Heather, good afternoon. President Biden had a phone conversation yesterday with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and they apparently, according to the White House, had a positive discussion about advancing President Biden's economic agenda. But this comes just one day after the president held separate meetings with moderate Democrat Senators Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin about the $3.5 trillion reconciliation proposal on the table. Now, Senator Manchin is not budging. He called for a strategic pause on that $3.5 trillion bill, and right now he will not agree to that figure. And Democrats need a simple majority to pass the Senate for that reconciliation bill, and without Manchin, it's unlikely that they will have the numbers. Now, in order for President Biden to fund his Build Back Better agenda, he will actually be raising taxes on top earners, but House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy tells Newsmax that it will also impact the middle class.
He lied about that he wouldn't raise taxes on those who have a lower income than $400,000. We've now found from the joint taxation that $30,000 being earned, you will get your taxes raised.
Now, Democrats are also discussing how to continue to fund the government before a potential shutdown, and also the meeting between Biden, Pelosi, and Schumer focused on raising the debt ceiling. That's something that Republicans do not want to see. Now, there's a big holdup right now in Congress in terms of these spending bills. Progressives like Senator Bernie Sanders, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they say with no reconciliation bill, there will not be the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, which already passed the Senate. So those House progressives are threatening to hold up the infrastructure bill unless the Senate is able to pass the reconciliation bill. But without Senator Manchin on board, as I mentioned, it's unlikely the Democrats will have the 50 senators they need unless he somehow changes his position. Back to you.
Thank you, Logan. Joining us now to weigh in, columnist for the Washington Times, who wrote a column on this topic entitled "Inflation coupled with Dems' proposed tax increases are a recipe for disaster." Richard Rahn. Richard, give us a little info. Great headline. Tell us why you think it's a disaster.
Well, we're already above what we call the tax revenue maximizing point and welfare point. As our friend Art Lapper has pointed out numerous times over the last 40 years, there's some point where you raise the tax so high, it brings in less revenue. And we're actually at that point. We're above that point with a number of taxes. I concentrated on the capital gains tax. Now, the capital gains tax is somewhat of a discretionary tax. You decide when you sell a property. Now, the problem is if you're taxed very highly on a capital gain, whether it be a stock or a bond or real estate or what have you, then you're less likely to sell, and the government will actually get less revenue. We also have another problem that's coupled with high rates of inflation. Inflation is another form of taxation. But if you have an asset you've held many years, and if the nominal appreciation, the growth in the price of that asset is less than, less than the rate of inflation, what happens when you're taxed, you're actually paying a tax on imaginary income that doesn't really exist. Let's assume you have an asset of some sort that's gone up 50% over the last 30 years, but inflation has been averaging around 3%. So that means that the real, the nominal price might have gone up 100%. So you're getting taxed on an imaginary gain.
Yeah.
And many people own, let's say, small timberlands or other assets that grow slowly in value, end up paying a tax of more than 100%, the effective tax rate, which is different than appears nominal. But anyway, we have many of these taxes which are well above what is needed to maximize economic growth, maximize government revenue over the long term. Right now, we've got a problem. We've got a lot of jobs out there, but people won't go to work. Why won't they go to work? Because if they go to work, they lose benefits at a faster rate, which is essentially a tax, than if they go to work.
So I wanted to ask you about this one particular line in the piece that you wrote here, because I found it interesting. You said, remember, inflation is caused by government policy incompetence. So what does this administration need to do to turn things around?
Well, inflation is basically when the money supply grows at a faster rate than the supply of goods and services, new goods and services. There's also a thing economists refer to as the velocity of money, the number of times it turns over. We've had a huge growth in the money supply, but because of the pandemic and other things, we had a very slow growth in the amount of goods and services being provided. As a result, that huge monetary growth shows up in higher prices. So when you go to the supermarket, you notice a lot of prices have gone up, the price of gasoline and so forth. We've had some countries like Zimbabwe where they had enormous increases in the supply of money, and they have what we call hyperinflation. We're not there, but we're going to see inflation rates much like we saw in the late 1970s. And I'm old enough to remember that, and that wasn't pleasant.
No, because of what happened to stop it. They raised interest rates so high, it killed the economy.
Yeah, well, they had no choice. I mean,
right.
Paul Volcker and Ronald Reagan confronted with at one point, a 21% prime rate, and the consumer price index was increasing at 14% per year.
Yes.
That's devastating. Yeah. You got to bring it to a halt. And when you bring it to a halt, that causes a lot of pain for a year or two.
It worked, thank goodness.
Happened in the early 80s.
That part did work.
But once we got the rate of inflation down and we had the Reagan tax cuts, the economy absolutely took off and we grew very rapidly.
Yep.
So you can get out of the mess, but it's going to be pain getting out. Which
brings us back, by the way, to the Laffer curve, right?
Yes, exactly.
We'll leave it there, sir.
All right. Richard, Ron, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
Well, turning now to this story making major headlines, the mysterious disappearance of a 22-year-old woman that has sparked a nationwide search. Our correspondent, Leonardo Feldman, is live for us in Northport, Florida, with more. Leo?
Heather, that's right. Well, Gabriela Petito used to live in that house that you see behind me with her fiance and his parents. And what we know is that his fiance is not cooperating right now with authorities, and neither are his parents. And his fiance is actually a person of interest right now. His name is Brian Laundrie. And what we know about this mysterious disappearance is that on August 12th, Petito and Laundrie had a police encounter in Moab, Utah. After someone saw them arguing, police spoke with them, but neither Petito nor Laundrie decided to press charges. Petito's mother actually spoke with Newsmax today in Wake Up America, and she spoke about this specific encounter.
It's really heartbreaking as a mother to watch that, wishing I could have helped her and hugged her and took her away from that situation, kept her safe. I hope that he does crack soon and say something.
And speaking of laundry, hopefully saying something, we do know that his sister did speak to the media. They spoke, she spoke to ABC News in an exclusive about what she thinks about the disappearance of her brother's fiance.
Obviously, me and my family want Gabby to be found safe. She's like a sister, and my children love her. And all I want is for her to come home safe and sound, and this to be just a big misunderstanding.
And it is important to note that on August 13th, a newlywed couple was last seen alive in Moab, Utah, the same city where the argument took place on August 12th. And days later, the police found the bodies of that newlywed couple and determined it was a double homicide. They are not ruling out a possible connection to that case. Authorities have seized the van Petito and laundry traveled in for possible clues in the Petito case, and if that double homicide could in fact be related to this case. And what we know is that also Petito's father traveled here to Northport in Florida to plead to Brian's parents to talk to the authorities about where she might be, because at this point they are desperate.
Hi, we've just been fighting this morning.
I'm sorry I hit the bump there.
I was distracting him from driving. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
So we know that here the media is here waiting to see if there's some movement in that house, but so far we haven't seen any movement, at least since Wednesday when somebody here reported that there was movement in the house. So we don't know, in fact, if the parents or if he is in there right now.
All right, Leo, thank you very much.
Yeah. Should we explain to folks that video that you saw at the very end there? That was the police cam video that Leo had mentioned at the very beginning that they had of Gabby, who's now missing. Yeah.
And coming up, never seen before, illegal border crossings sparking a new humanitarian crisis and strain on our border resources. Take a look at that. We'll discuss this when American Agenda continues.
American Medicine Today features cutting-edge medical and science innovators, previous surgical guests to the Bonati Spine Institute, and a medical professional's insight on political issues plaguing our nation and healthcare. American Medicine Today, Saturdays at 4 on Newsmax.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else. Call or go to mypillow.com right now to get your very own Giza Dream bed sheets. Use the promo code to save 50% as low as $49.99 a set. That's 50% off at my lowest prices ever. I personally guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO of MyPillow. My employees and I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for all your support. I would like to tell you about my new platform, frankspeech.com. It's an amazing new broadcast network and social media site with great shows, including my own live show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Also, you can go to frankspeech.com now to get the best prices on MyPillow and My Store products. For example, you can get my 6-pack towel set, normally $109.99, now only $39.99 with your promo code. And if you buy one of my Giza Dream Sheets, you get another one absolutely free with your promo code. So go to frankspeech.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive MyPillow offers. Thank you and God bless.
Why spend all your money on just one part at the typical auto parts store, when at rockauto.com you can get all the parts you need with money left over to buy lunch? Go to rockauto.com.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented the precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect 98.75% patient satisfaction. 70,000 procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients have suffered from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
To an update on President Biden's border crisis. The Customs and Border Patrol just releasing new border control numbers for August, and it's breaking more records.
Let's check in with Amanda Brohanty, who's standing by with the very latest. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Heather. Hi, Bob. So we actually have shocking new video, which is showing migrants waiting under that bridge in Del Rio, Texas, which is growing by the thousands. Now, officials report more than 11,000 migrants are there, which jumped from 8,000 as of yesterday. Now, Border Patrol is planning to shut down sector checkpoints and send staff to assist with the care, transport, and processing of those migrants. And many of them are reportedly from Haiti, but officials are also seeing Cubans, Venezuelans, and Nicaraguans. Now, temperatures into the high 90s scorching the area as reports of migrants saying food and water is scarce. And the mayor of Del Rio is calling it a health and national security issue.
The Border Patrol right now is so overwhelmed. What's happening is real-time threats. We have the threat of health. We have persons behind me. Yesterday we had a woman that went into labor. We have the health of COVID-19 and other communicable diseases that are found in our area. We also have a terror threat.
Meanwhile, the FAA has placed a 2-week flight ban over the area, the move stopping drones from capturing footage of the migrants. And this comes as border arrests hit a 20-year high with nearly 209,000 encounters in August. And the mayor is also demanding President Biden to take action.
Something that really needs to be brought to light, that we need quick action from the administration. We need quick attention to this. We need a response in real time. And, you know, a stark warning was delivered back in February when it released the video to the Biden administration that what you're seeing behind me was a threat then. And here it's coming into the worst case scenario.
And Bob, Heather, there's still more images showing that more migrants are coming to the area. And earlier, Governor Abbott said that he wasn't going to close down checkpoints, but that seems to be changing. We'll still have to wait to see what happens. That's supposed to be at midnight tonight.
All right. Thank you very much, Amanda. Joining us now for some more reaction is former acting CBP Commissioner Mark Morgan. Thank you for joining us. I'm not sure if you could just hear Amanda's piece there, but there was some sound from the mayor of Del Rio, and he said they're dealing with real-time threats, including a terror threat. Did you hear him say that?
I did, and look, he's exactly right, and this is not hyperbole. I'm saying right now for the first time, in the Del Rio sector of our southern border, the United States has lost complete control of our borders. It's much worse than what was just described. Look, I'm getting real-time reporting right now that the number is actually 12,000 illegal aliens that are under that bridge, and it gets far worse. They're actually able to go back and forth from the United States to Mexico. There's reporting that they're actually going back to Mexico to get fast food and then come back to the United States. And the majority of the 12,000 have not even been processed. They're just hanging out waiting to be processed. Right now, the Border Patrol has only processed about 2,000 of that 12,000. And here's another stat. The Department of Homeland Security, they're not testing a single one of them. There's no a vaccine mandate. And we know and reporting that there is another 10,000 on its way. And real quick, if I can, on the Mexico side, you can actually see that there's actually taxis coming up on the Mexico side. The immigrants are getting out and just walking across freely. Again, back and forth from one country to the next. We've absolutely lost control over borders because of this administration.
And Mark, when you say the 2,000 of 12,000 are processed, what does that mean and where do they go?
Yeah, so that is the question. So right now, the 12,000 on the bridge, they're free to go. They illegally enter our borders. The Border Patrol is overwhelmed. We've lost control. So if they wanted to, they can leave. But they're actually hanging out, waiting for the Border Patrol to actually get them, process them, because then taxpayers' expense will fly them anywhere in the country. They will be released into local communities. That mayor right now, his community will be receiving these individuals, because right now, the last stats just showed up to 85% of families are going to be released. Well, the majority of illegal aliens are released into the United States. That's from CBP's own statistical accounting from this past month. And one real quick thing, if I can, here's where the terrorist comment comes into play. Is right now, I'm being told 99% of enforcement operations along that border in that area have been shut down. Checkpoints have been shut down. That means our border is wide open, unsecured, unmonitored, and that goes to the 350,000 gotaways that we've experienced in this fiscal year, because our border is wide open and border patrols are pulled off the line to process and transport illegal aliens.
Yeah, the Border Patrol agents, we've been reporting on this. They are struggling to keep the surge under control. Texas Senator Ted Cruz had this to say to the president. Listen.
I'm here in Del Rio, Texas, September 16th. I'm underneath the bridge. Behind me, 10,503 people. This is a crisis that is unfolding. It's a man-made crisis. This is lawless, and it is inviting suffering. This needs to end.
So explain to me, Mark, while we're looking at that, why are the checkpoints being shut down?
Look, first of all, what Senator Cruz just said, every word, he's absolutely correct. And I'll add to this, what's humane and orderly about what we're seeing right now? But that's what this administration continues to lie to the American people about. Thank goodness we have Republicans like Senator Cruz. We need more Republicans to step up and call this out for what it is. But the reason why these checkpoints are being closed down, it's resources. The Border Patrol, as you just said, they're overwhelmed. There are simply not enough Border Patrol personnel to process that many people that have illegally entered the border. So they're having to pull them off critical areas, again, leaving a large area of the border wide open. What do you think the cartels and smugglers are doing? They're laughing as they're pouring drugs into this country, pouring criminal aliens in this country, pouring gangs into this country, because the Del Rio sector is wide open, and they're making their way to every town, city, and state in this country. Last year, almost 100,000 overdoses for drugs. And right now, the drug seizures across the border up, and we wonder why. It's absolutely ludicrous what's happening.
I was looking at the weather. It's supposed to be 100 on Sunday, 102 on Monday. That can't make the situation there very pleasant. It could actually be life-threatening. But then the resources you talk about, a town like Del Rio is small. And so how do they even come up with the money to deal with this, even with law enforcement?
That's a good question. And look, if I can, on the heat, you're absolutely correct. That's another reason why they're under the bridge. It's the only area where there's shade for that many people. But remember, it wasn't that long ago. Remember, from the President of the United States and the DHS Secretary Mayorkas lied to the American people. Remember when they said, this is seasonal. When it gets hot, the numbers will go down. Right? Every single month, they've proven out to be liars, and the numbers have gone up 20-year historic highs, and it's maintaining that. But look, at the end of the day, for these local communities, they don't have the resources. We saw the same thing happen in McAllen, and the mayor said, we're overwhelmed. We don't have the capacity. And that's when the DHS started actually transporting illegal aliens further into the interior of the state. And real quick, let's not forget, 15 to 20% of these illegal aliens are tested positive for COVID. And you saw those images. They're not wearing masks. They're not socially distant. They haven't been tested. That's an active mobile COVID Petri dish live in color before us. And this secretary continues to tell the American people that our borders are closed and what they're doing is humane. It's absolutely defies logic and it's hypocrisy.
Yeah, and now the FAA banning drones from flying over this area, so we're not going to be able to see some of these images that we've been seeing. Mark Morgan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me both. Thank you.
Well, coming up, city sleuths at Inside Edition are going undercover, finding out just how many restaurants are actually upholding the city's proof of vaccination requirement. You don't want to miss this when American Agenda continues.
Eric Bolling is back, and he's fighting big media, woke politics, and cancel culture. Every afternoon, Eric's new The Balance tells the truth and exposes the big lies. Watch Eric Bolling every weekday afternoon on Newsmax.
I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. In 1787, 39 delegates came together to create a government for the people, by the people. This great document was known as the Constitution of the United States of America. This document opens with 3 simple words: we the people. The phrase we the people has grown to encompass a larger and more diverse group of ethnicities, religions, backgrounds, and opinions than ever. And only by working together can we ensure the bright future that our forefathers imagined will be brought into fruition. A future where liberty rings loud in the hearts of every American, as it was felt in the hearts of the men and women who fought so hard to create this great nation. Happy Constitution Day from Balance of Nature and United We Pledge.
Every 60 seconds, not 1, but 2 children are trafficked. And every 30 seconds, 1 is forced into slavery for the purpose of heinous acts.
Human trafficking is happening in your own backyard. It is happening to your neighbors.
Many whom we see every day in our own communities, hidden in plain sight.
You know, there's kids out there that are being bought and sold 20 times a day.
We must bring the child back to the center of our care and concern. Today, we launch Goya Cares.
Goya Cares has pledged $2 million and has partnered with overcomers of trafficking and abuse to rescue, rehabilitate, reunite, and to shine the light that will block traffic.
This is where we become the light.
God saved me. I believe that I was called to this. Perhaps He's calling you too.
Block traffic.
Join Goya Cares and visit blocktraffic.org to pledge your support.
I want this so bad! They've trained their entire lives for this. Every single night, you have to give your 110%. But only the best of the best. I have what it takes. Can be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
We've got to make decisions fast.
There's definitely a lot of pressure. With the competition fiercer than ever. You're not going to make the team this season. Who will rise to become a star? You're dancing like your dream is coming true. Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders making the team. New season premieres tonight at 9 on CMT.
Germs invade through your nose, the body's air filter. But how do you clean it? Navage uses powered suction to help flush out congestion, allergens, mucus, and viruses. Millions use drug-free Navage to breathe better and feel healthier. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
During a recent investigation with the team at Inside Edition, it's been discovered that 11 out of 15 New York City restaurants were not enforcing the city's proof of vaccine mandate.
Here at Swanky Mercer Kitchen in the Soho neighborhood, they did everything by the book.
I need to see ID along with proof of vaccination.
But it was a different story at this restaurant on the Upper East Side.
How about inside? For 2? Inside would be great.
Our producer got a table indoors right away, no questions asked.
Well, this mandate comes after Mayor Bill de Blasio ramped up the city's COVID laws in efforts to try to curb the surge of cases. For reaction to this investigation, we're joined by former New York Congressman Peter King and Democratic strategist Bill Caruso. Peter, I'll start with you. Mayor Bill de Blasio has also ordered businesses to do this and said that they should implement these vaccine checkpoints or face $1,000 fines. You know, these are some restaurants that were struggling to survive. Those that did survive now have to do this. What are your thoughts on it?
Hey, listen, I wish everyone were vaccinated. I understand why the mayor might think this is the right thing to do, but it really is counterproductive. Many restaurants, I'm talking about really top restaurants as well as smaller ones, are struggling to stay alive. The pandemic almost destroyed them. And now to have this extra burden of hiring someone or attempting to enforce this is going to add to their costs. It's going to make it harder for them to stay afloat. And also, in addition to that, they're going to get resistance. People are not going to restaurants. They were hoping that during this period, everyone would be flocking to the restaurants. Instead, this is scaring some people off. We saw incidents the other night where actually fights broke out. And so the restaurants don't want this. So listen, it's me assuming it's well-intentioned. but it is counterproductive right now.
Bill, I've had restaurants ask me for proof. I've had some not. But what bothers me the most as a citizen is who was penalized the most during this pandemic? I think most of us would agree restaurants. I mean, obviously there were some others, but you can go up and down the streets here and see one after another restaurants that have died. Should politicians be putting this additional onus on them?
Listen, government makes laws all the time for the health and welfare of the greater good. And I'm kind of where Peter is. I wish people would go out and get vaccinated. There's a lot of proof out there that is the safest way to protect yourself from serious harm or even death. And there's reasons why people can't get vaccinated as well. I think there are businesses out there that are relieved that government has made this choice because there are employees that want rules in place, and they may feel that way as well. And equally, this is a challenge. And to your point, Bob, these businesses are really on their backs right now. They are crawling back and hoping, but this is an added burden. And let's face it, the general public right now is toxic. And you're putting waitresses and bartenders and maitre d's in harm's way, essentially doing a job almost that government should be doing on this checkpoint. But I don't know of a better way. I mean, I think that's the challenge right now, is that we have this problem and there are not a lot of good answers.
Yeah, Peter, 24 Republican attorneys generals are threatening legal action over the vaccine mandates coming from the Biden administration. Do you think that states should have more control than the federal government?
I think the states should have the right. Listen, I understand the attorneys general bringing these lawsuits. I don't know if this is a hill to die on, but I do think the president has overreached. I do think, though, that states should have the right to do what they wish. And that to me is clearly a state function. I realize people go across state lines and the pandemic can be spread, but I don't want to use the pandemic as an opportunity to really violate states' rights. And also, I believe, though, on the other hand, that governors should not be interfering with local school districts or local municipalities if they want to have mask mandates. I think it should be kept at the lowest possible level.
And Bill, let me switch the attention a little bit to the monoclonal antibodies that are being limited by the federal government right now in certain states like Florida, which has 21 million people, a lot of them older, higher risk, and some of them having trouble finding what they need.
Yeah, and to be honest, Bob, I haven't seen that part yet. I think there's been a concern that that's what's coming. I've seen federal government basically marshaling this resource at this point, and that's concerning. If we are running out of supply because there's such a high demand, that's concerning. And to some extent, the federal government does need to play a role, but I'm not a big fan of federal government being involved in these things. I think private sector does it better. I think states and local governments have more eyes on this, but this is becoming a national demand right now, national crisis. And if that's where we're headed, yeah, I do think the federal government's going to have to limit supply or at least control supply so every state has options.
Peter, do you believe their explanation given yesterday for our own Emerald Robinson, who asked about that, and she was told by Jen Psaki that it was about equity and making it deliverable to states across the country in an equitable manner?
I hope that's the case. I hope this isn't being used for political purposes. I don't want to prejudge it, but I guess if it is red states being hit the hardest, it raises questions. But there's enough finger pointing on COVID. I'd rather get away from that, but it's certainly worth looking at, to be honest with you. I mean, Governor DeSantis, he's been an adversary of the president. He says Florida is being particularly hard hit. I think it's important that be investigated.
Yeah. All right. Well, Peter King and Bill Caruso, always great to have you with us. Hope you have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too. Thank you.
And coming up, Newsmax's new weekend show that highlights business innovators and how they impact the world around us. We'll have more on that when we return.
I wasn't sleeping well. My neck would be stiff.
I had memory foams, I had feather pillows, and I'd always wake up with neck pain, and I had constant headaches. After sleeping on my pillow, I didn't wake up with the headaches. I was more aligned. Everything felt good.
I didn't realize the connection between the pillow and sleep. When I switched to my pillow, I got a better night's sleep, and I love it.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of My Pillow. I want you to get the best night's sleep of your life. For a limited time, you can get my premium My Pillows for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98 with your promo code. Only $29.98. That's a $40 savings. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it holds that support all night long to take the pressure off your shoulders and keep your neck aligned regardless of your sleeping position.
MyPillow is machine washable and dryable and comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee and an amazing 10-year warranty. Plus, every premium MyPillow is made in the USA. For a limited time, you can get a premium MyPillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98. That's a $40 savings with your promo code.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I personally guarantee that my pillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own. And to help you sleep better, I'm offering you my lowest price ever. Only $29.98 for a queen-size premium MyPillow.
Call or go to MyPillow.com to take advantage of Mike's best offer ever. Use the promo code on your screen to get a queen-size MyPillow premium for only $29.98, regularly $69.98. Get a king size for just $5 more. It's the lowest price ever. Only $29.98. That's a $40 savings. This is a limited time offer and not available in stores. Don't delay. Order now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
This was when I noticed how white my son's teeth were and how yellow mine were, and I needed to make a change.
My smile's yellowish or dingy, and it definitely made me self-conscious.
I can't magically become younger, but I can certainly look younger. And I'm doing that with Smile Actives.
Introducing Smile Actives, the teeth whitening breakthrough that gets your teeth white and keeps them white.
I eat the blueberries, I drink the coffee, and I know that Smile Actives will keep my teeth white every day.
What makes Smile Actives different is that when added to any toothpaste, its revolutionary PolyClean technology activates, transforming into a powerful microfoam that goes into the enamel surface to lift and remove stains.
You need a simple way to whiten your teeth. Without strips, without trays, without going to the dentist. And it was about time that a product was developed that you would be able to do that with just brushing.
Look at the power of Smile Actives on years of food stains and even coffee and wine stains. Smile Actives is safe and effective and also works on veneers, crowns, and dentures.
This is after using Smile Actives, and you can really see how white my teeth are now next to my son's.
Why spend hundreds of dollars for whitening treatments at the dentist when you can whiten your teeth at home with Smile Actives for just $19.95? Order in the next 5 minutes and you'll get a second Smile Actives Power Whitening Gel absolutely free. That's a 50% savings. Perfect for travel, work, or to share with family or friends. Order right now and we'll sweeten the deal and include free shipping. That's 2 for the price of 1. Yours for just $19.95. Best of all, Smile Actives will get your teeth 6 shades whiter, guaranteed, or your money back. Hurry and take advantage of this special TV offer not available in stores. Call 1-800-806-0090 or go to smileactives.com. That's 1-800-806-0090. Order now.
Well, if you don't know this already, Newsmax has a weekend show that focuses on business opportunities. It's called New to the Street with host Jane King, and the show brings weekly C-suite innovators, CEOs, and founders on air to showcase how they're impacting the world around us. Joining us now to discuss what viewers can expect this week is New to the Street contributor Janet Alvarez. Janet, thank you very much for joining us as always. What do you have this weekend for us?
So this week on New to the Street, we have some innovative companies, starting with the Song Coin from Beatify Audio, which allows song makers to get paid in that coin within 30 seconds time. So that's really innovative, something to look out for. Also, we'll be talking to Solar Integrated Roofing again. Remember, they're the company that buys up existing roofing companies and transforms them into solar companies to take that step into the green future. Finally, we'll be talking again with CEO Alan Gay, who is here to talk about his security app again. And remember, their app is the only one that does not subscribe to Western Cloud Act features. So it's governed by Swiss law, keeps your data absolutely private, and cannot be released under any circumstances. So those and more innovative companies will be on this Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern on New to the Street.
Janet, curious about the first thing. Did you say phones that offer a net coin? I was a little. How does that work? And we're going to have to pay somebody something again. But how does that work?
So essentially, this company is producing coins that trade on music, essentially. So if you produce music, if you're interested in music, you can buy and trade using this coin. And people who produce music can be paid using this coin. So if you want to consume music from a musician, you can purchase it from them using this coin, and they can get paid instantaneously. So it allows music to be created in a grassroots fashion. And as we know, music has been revolutionized over the past 20 years, and this is sort of that next iteration, that next step forward.
So with the solar integrated roofing, the idea is that they buy up roofing, pre-existing roofing, and then change it over to solar?
Absolutely. So as you know, solar is one of the fastest growing types of energy in our country, and it's relatively easy to install. So it's a straightforward strategy that looks at traditional roofing companies and then transforms them into solar companies, allowing that power of solar to come to a neighborhood near you.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Janet, and we look forward to seeing you and Jane King Sunday, 10 a.m. right here on Newsmax. Thank you very much, and we'll be discussing what's trending on social media when we come back with more of American Agenda.
Closed captioning brought to you by MagnaLife Leg and Back Pain Relief for pain-related symptoms of sciatica.
Tired of pain radiating down your leg and lower back? Get relief, finally, with MagnaLife Leg and Back Pain Relief, and get living.
Available at your local retailer.
Hello, my friend Pat Boone here for Safe Step Walk-In Tub. Listen, for years, one of my greatest pleasures has been relaxing in my walk-in tub, and I'm excited to tell you that Safe Step has actually found a way to take your bathing and showering experience to a whole new level with their new hybrid tub. It's the luxury and convenience of a shower and tub all in one package. The dual shower heads include a handheld shower wand and a large, luxurious rainfall shower head. Now you can finally enjoy the best of both worlds with the therapeutic benefits of a warm, soothing bath that can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and improve sleep. Or, if you prefer, you can take a safe, refreshing shower all in one amazing product.
Call today and receive $1,500 off the purchase of your new Safe Step walk-in tub. Call 1-800-882-9981.
Amidst all the noise, the chaos, lies uncertainty. Uncertainty about the pandemic, the economy, taxes. Only one thing is certain, like death and taxes. The Fed is going to keep interest rates near zero and keep printing money. Good for gold, bad for the dollar. Gold provides certainty and stability, and that's why Americans are flocking to it. Gold was up 25% last year, silver up 40%, and Bank of America has raised its forecast to $3,000 an ounce. Isn't it time you had some certainty in your life? Call the Patriot Gold Group, 800-218-6987, for a free investment guide. And when you go to Patriot Gold Group, you can trust their purity. They've been given the Best-in-Class award from Consumer Affairs and unprecedented 5 years in a row. Patriot Gold, 800-218-6987. No fees, no charges for life.
They call you the dumb money. They, meaning the big firms on Wall Street, don't want you to succeed unless you hand your money over to them. They use your inexperience against you. But I stand with you, the individual investor driving this market. I'm Charles Payne. We're in the midst of a retail investor revolution, and I want to arm you with the strategy to help maximize your investing and not settle for crumbs. It's a strategy I've been using for years to beat the market. I give you all the details of my newest book, Unstoppable Prosperity. And today, I want to give you a copy for free.
Just cover shipping to receive Charles Payne's new book for free. Call or go to unstoppableprosperity.com right now, and you'll also receive all these additional free gifts. Together, a $134 value, yours free. Call 800-810-6767 or go to unstoppableprosperity.com now. That's 800-810-6767 or unstoppableprosperity.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO of MyPillow. My employees and I would like to personally thank each and every one of you for all your support. I would like to tell you about my new platform, frankspeech.com. It's an amazing new broadcast network and social media site with great shows, including my own live show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Also, you can go to frankspeech.com now to get the best prices on MyPillow and My Store products. For example, you can get my 6-pack towel set, normally $109.99, now only $39.99 with your promo code. And if you buy one of my Giza Dream Sheets, you get another one absolutely free with your promo code. So go to frankspeech.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive MyPillow offers. Thank you and God bless.
Let's check in with Amanda Brohanty and a look at what's trending on social media. Hi, Amanda.
Heather, Bob, we're seeing Walgreens trend after they announced all of their employees will need to be vaccinated by January 1st. Now, some people aren't happy with that decision. This user saying, do they have that authority? Seems like an overstep. I could understand their employees, but everyone, slippery slope to Walgreens authoritarianism. Or this one offering harsh criticism and their opinion of a better option. Dumped corporate chains like Walgreens long ago. Find small town pharmacy. Best thing you could do. Excellent personalized service. These Nazi chains need to be choked off. However, many people are also showing support, like this tweet saying, yes and thank you. And if CVS doesn't follow suit, I'll move all my business to Walgreens. Bob, Heather, you know, this idea of mandating vaccines is always very polarizing. You have one group who's for it and one group who isn't. You see that all throughout social media, too.
Yeah. We talked about that today.
Yeah, and the conversation's not going to go away. It sounds like there are going to be court cases, and ultimately we'll see whether the government has the right to enforce some of these things.
Yeah, we'll continue to see how this plays out.
All right. Thank you very much, Amanda. And stay with us. The second hour of American Agenda starts right now.
And General Mark Milley is broken to silence about calls he had with a Chinese general, saying to the Associated Press, perfectly within the duties and responsibilities of his job, and that they were routine, meant to reassure both allies and adversaries in this case in order to ensure strategic stability.
Well, this comes as Republicans on the House Oversight Committee are now demanding that General Milley turn over the transcripts of the call ahead of his hearing in front of the Senate Armed Services Committee on September 28th.
And again, welcome to the second hour of American Agenda. I'm Bob Sellers.
And I'm Heather Childers. We are also monitoring the Pentagon live right now. We're awaiting General McKenzie any moment, who is expected to address the drone strike that happened in Afghanistan. You'll remember there were reports that drone strike killed a civilian family. Reportedly, he is set to announce that, in fact, no ISIS members were killed in that drone strike. Press Secretary John Kirby also possibly discussing General Mark Milley's comments earlier today about the call with the Chinese general. We'll bring all that to you live once it begins.
But first, new reports emerging about the U.S. paying the Taliban, a ransom to let American citizens out of Afghanistan.
And now Republicans demanding answers on that. Our Israeli correspondent, Daniel Cohen, has that story.
Republican lawmakers want to know if aid money was a ransom payment to the Taliban in exchange for safe passage for Americans who are still trapped in Afghanistan. In a letter addressed to Secretary of State Blinken, 21 members of the House Republican Study Committee expressed concern that humanitarian aid would effectively serve as a payment of ransom. Last week, the State Department announced $64 million in financial assistance it says would go directly to the Afghan people. The administration's counting on aid to independent organizations like the UN and NGOs to provide food, water, and medical care. Republicans fear there's nothing to stop the Taliban from seizing it. The letter also says the $64 million will put more Americans in harm's way by incentivizing terror groups to kidnap Americans. The UN has pledged $1.2 billion to Afghanistan. Earlier this week, the Taliban's acting foreign minister, Amir Khan Muttaqi, told reporters the hardline Islamist group would, quote, spend donor money wisely and use it to alleviate poverty. Afghanistan was already one of the poorest countries in the world. Beijing last week promised 31 million, along with 3 million coronavirus vaccines. Pakistan sent food and medicine. Iran said it had dispatched an air cargo of aid. The Biden administration has faced intense bipartisan pressure over its handling of the withdrawal. Republicans calling on the president and the Secretary of State to give clear details on how they plan to get the rest of the Americans who are still trapped in Afghanistan safely out. Reporting from Dizengoff Square in the heart of Tel Aviv for Newsmax, I'm Daniel Cole.
And now let's go live to the Pentagon briefing that has begun with Press Secretary John Kirby.
All good here, sir. I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. I'm here to brief the results of the investigation I directed following the report of civilian casualties from our strike in Kabul on 29 August. Having thoroughly reviewed the findings of the investigation and the supporting analysis by interagency partners, I am now convinced that as many as 10 civilians, including up to 7 children, were tragically killed in that strike. Moreover, we now assess that it is unlikely that the vehicle and those who died were associated with ISIS-K or were a direct threat to U.S. forces. I offer my profound condolences to the family and friends of those who were killed. This strike was taken in the earnest belief that it would prevent an imminent threat to our forces and the evacuees at the airport. But it was a mistake, and I offer my sincere apology. As the combatant commander, I am fully responsible for this strike and its tragic outcome. While I've begun with the most important findings of our investigation, I do want to provide the background leading up to the strike and include an explanation as to why we felt reasonably certain that this was a legitimate strike on an imminent ISIS-K threat, with no indication that the strike would result in civilian casualties, as we asserted in our initial statements. The strike on 29 August must be considered in the context of the situation on the ground in Kabul at Hamid Karzai International Airport, following the ISIS-K attack that resulted in the deaths of 13 soldiers, sailors, and Marines, and more than 100 civilians at Abbey Gate on 26 August, and also with a substantial body of intelligence indicating the imminence of another attack. In the 48 hours prior to the strike, sensitive intelligence indicated that the compound at point number 1 on the map, and let's bring the map up now, please. And we're just going to bring this up. Hopefully you have an opportunity to see it here as we go forward. John, can you see the map there?
They've disabled you, sir.
Hey, John, can you hear me now?
And the press have hard copies.
Okay, Roger. Then I'm going to continue based on that then, John. In the 48 hours prior to the strike, sensitive intelligence indicated that the compound at point number 1 on the map was being used by ISIS-K planners, used to facilitate future attacks. We were also receiving a significant number of reports indicating multiple avenues of attack which were being planned simultaneously, through which ISIS-K would attempt to harm our forces, including with rockets, suicide explosive vests, and vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices. In fact, in the 36 hours preceding the strike, our leaders on the ground at the airport and in the strike cell received more than 60 different pieces of intelligence related to imminent threats, with some intelligence corroborating and some conflicting, with events observed from our UAVs, which were flying above Kabul throughout the day. One of the most recurring aspects of the intelligence was that ISIS-K would utilize a white Toyota Corolla as a key element in the next attack. Because the compound at point number 1 was our strongest lead for this series of imminent attacks, we initiated an intense surveillance of the compound with as many as 6 MQ-9 Reapers on the morning of 29 August. At 8:52 a.m. local time on 29 August, a white Toyota Corolla arrived at point number 1, the compound we believed to be a key area of interest associated with imminent threats to the airport. 2 adult males exited the vehicle, met with an adult male in the compound, and received a bag from him. The Corolla then departed the compound heading south, and we followed the vehicle. At 9:05 a.m., the Toyota Corolla picked up a third adult male carrying a bag at point number 2, and then continued south. At 9:35, the Corolla arrived at the compound at point number 3, which we now know to include an Office of Nutrition and Education International, and all 3 adult males in the vehicle entered the building on the compound. At 11:19 a.m., 3 adult males unloaded bags and jugs from the trunk of the vehicle before departing the compound at 11:22 a.m., heading south. At approximately this time, U.S. forces were notified of a sensitive intelligence collection indicating that an ISIS-K cell leader in Kabul was dropping off supplies. At 12:11 p.m., the Corolla arrived at point number 4, and at least 2 adult male occupants exited the vehicle in front of an office building before returning to their vehicle and departing at 1:27 p.m., heading west and then south. At 2:00 p.m., the Corolla returned to the compound at point number 3. Subsequently, multiple adult males were observed loading the trunk of the vehicle with items assessed at the time to be explosives, before departing at 3:47 p.m. with 4 adult males heading north. At 4:11 p.m., the Corolla returned to point number 2 and dropped off 1 adult male carrying a bag, then continued north. After driving near point number 1, the Corolla dropped off 1 adult male on the road at point number 5, which is roughly several hundred meters north of point number 1. At 4:39 p.m., the Corolla dropped off its last passenger on the road at point number 6. At 4:51 p.m., the Corolla arrived at point number 7 and backed into a compound that was approximately 3 kilometers from the airport, which was the closest it came to the airport all day. We were very concerned that the vehicle could move quickly and be at the airport boundary in a matter of moments. By this time, we had observed the vehicle for about 8 hours. While in the compound, the vehicle was observed being approached by a single adult male assessed at the time to be a co-conspirator. The strike was executed at this time because the vehicle was stationary and to reduce the potential for civilian casualties. The single Hellfire missile was fused to detonate inside the vehicle to further minimize the chance for civilian casualties. It struck the vehicle at 4:53 p.m., which produced an explosive event and follow-on flames significantly larger than a Hellfire missile would have been expected to produce. It is my assessment that leaders on the ground and the strike cell had achieved a reasonable certainty at the time of the strike to designate the vehicle as an imminent threat to U.S. forces at the airport, and that they made this self-defense strike in accordance with established rules of engagement. That assessment is based upon interviews with leaders on the ground and members of the strike cell, on a review of the intelligence available to the team at the time of the strike, and on the team's interpretation of how this vehicle and its occupants' actions were confirming the intelligence that they were seeing. It is further my assessment that the strike team were convinced at the time of the strike that the area was clear of civilians and that they had taken prudent steps in regards to weaponeering the strike to minimize the potential for civilian casualties. Finally, it is my assessment that they did believe, as reported, that there was a secondary explosion. Our investigation now concludes that the strike was a tragic mistake. First, I will stress this was not a rushed strike. The strike cell deliberately followed and observed this vehicle and its occupants for 8 hours, while cross-checking what they were seeing with all available intelligence to develop a reasonable certainty of the imminent threat that this vehicle posed to our forces. Second, while the initial reports indicated a secondary explosion, the initial investigation could only conclude that there was a possible to probable presence of external accelerants that could include either explosive material in the vehicle or an ignition of the gas tank of the vehicle. Subsequent analysis could not rule out the presence of a small amount of explosive material, but determined that the most likely cause was the ignition of gas from a propane tank located immediately behind the car. Such an ignition would have created a brief but massive fireball oriented directly up and out of the compound that was observed in the video and displayed in this photo. If we could get that next photo up, please.
All right, General McKenzie there admitting that indeed, as some had speculated, it was a tragic mistake, an attack that was purportedly on ISIS operatives in Kabul, and indeed ended up being 10 civilians, including 7 children. The general trying to give some explanation as to what went wrong. I will point out, having been in the Middle East, the Toyota Corolla is a very common vehicle, so just having that as the identified vehicle doesn't mean much. I was looking up information. I don't know if it's completely accurate, but an estimated 500,000 vehicles in Kabul, 90% of them are some form of Toyota Corolla. So just starting at that point doesn't get them off the hook that they were confusing it with something else. Obviously, something else went wrong along the way.
Yeah, just describing it as a tragic mistake. We do now know through some work that's been done, I think it was the New York Times that did an investigative piece that laid out everything that General McKenzie was saying there that happened in terms of monitoring these people for over 8 hours, believing that they were doing the right thing. The gentleman who ended up being killed, in fact, ran a nonprofit organization that was in charge of nutrition and education for Afghans. His name was Zuma Deluxe. Joining us now to react to more on all of this is Republican congressional candidate in Nevada, retired U.S. Army captain and former JAG attorney, Captain Noah Malgeri. Thank you very much for joining us. Just your thoughts on General McKenzie there admitting that this was just a tragic mistake.
Yeah, Heather, first of all, Bob, your point was really well taken and very insightful about the ubiquity of white Toyota Corollas in the Middle East. That's entirely true. No, I think they just admitted to, the rest of the justification that I heard was that they saw the potential for an explosion. And so apparently they killed all the people that might have been killed by the explosion had they let it proceed affirmatively. I'm not really sure I don't understand that, but what it looks like to me is just another aspect of the complete abject failure of the embarrassment and debacle that was the surrender and withdrawal from Afghanistan, which I think is part and parcel of a lot of what we're seeing. It's part of a bigger scheme, and the General Milley piece is certainly part of that as well. And General Milley, I think, has a lot to answer for the botched Afghanistan withdrawal as well.
Yeah, so let's talk about the intelligence. You can't say there were not boots on the ground. There were. So this is part and parcel of what you're saying, kind of expanding it. Something like this happened, and we had the overall debacle of the withdrawal. Is there something wrong with the intelligence in this case?
Well, I think there's something wrong because the normal procedures are not being observed and followed, because what it appears to be going on is something along the lines of a civilian military coup that's taken place in the government, where you have a few actors who are trying to appropriate and hijack the minimum amount of personnel assets to carry out something that's contrary to law and the will of the American people and the interests, and most importantly, significantly, to the direct interests of the United States, and contrary to their obligations as in the roles that they occupy to carry out strategies on behalf of the United States that serve the interests of the United States and the American people. Part of a bigger problem. This thing with Milley that we saw come out recently is part and parcel of that. Well, we saw General Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who is not in the chain of command, basically exercise what amounted to a military coup, usurping civilian control of the military, calling a foreign adversary while we were hot with them, in a hot status because it was right on the cusp and the threshold of the election. And we were observing very closely the Chinese activity, and we were very, very on high alert against any Chinese activity, calling the Chinese and giving him his allegiance, basically giving him his assurance that he would not take any military action without first clearing it with the Chinese Communist government. Yeah. And to me, what just to calibrate this, Bob, if this is true, and we'll hear that caveat quite a bit over the next few days, and we have been hearing it, but if true, to calibrate your audience, this is by far, the Milley story dwarfs the Afghanistan story, dwarfs COVID. It is the biggest story in the world of the year by far, and it's not even close.
Okay. I hate to cut you off because of time, but if you could give 2 sentences why it is so big. I assume it has something to do with the chain of command and somebody usurping that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we have is somebody who is not in the chain of command, commands no troops whatsoever. Okay, he's exclusively an advisor. That's advisor to the president. So any action that he wants to be taken has to go through the president of the United States. He has a staff, but he commands no soldiers or troops. He called without the knowledge of the DNI, without the knowledge of the Secretary of Defense, and without the knowledge of the Secretary of State, to the president, and called and pledged his allegiance. Imagine, Bob, if you were a soldier. Let's say Trump is in charge. China decides to take the opportunity to seize the sovereign country of Taiwan. President Trump wants to send soldiers to assist in their defense.
Right.
You're part of that. You're one of the soldiers on that ship being sent over. Milley calls the adversary, says the soldiers are on the way.
Right.
You're a soldier going over there to certain doom.
Yeah, it could put lives at danger, American lives, and we appreciate you talking to us, Captain Noah Malgeri. We could talk more. Unfortunately, a lot of it usurped by the Pentagon, where we just heard them admit to killing 10 civilians, including 7 children. Coming up, buyer's remorse, President Biden's approval rating and handling of COVID hitting the lowest point in his presidency. Are voters finally fed up with his COVID mandates and overreach? John Tabacco asked New Yorkers. He joins us next.
Real heroes.
Real conflict.
Real threats.
Real heart.
Now there's a place America gets its news.
Newsmax. We're real news for real people.
Millions are turning off the old channels
and switching to Newsmax, the fastest growing cable news channel in America.
No agenda.
No spin.
Just the facts.
Millions watch us. So can you.
Newsmax. We are real news for real people.
As he started to wake up, we started noticing that he was not going to be his normal self. He was not able to speak well. He had no control of any of his bodily functions. He wasn't able to walk. It was going to be a long rehab. It was so overwhelming. Doctors trying to talk to you about everything medical. It has really, really helped us be better caregivers to Morgan and thinking about his future. Wounded Warrior and the Independence Program have people right there that understand that, know where to send you, know who to call. You're going to have support from financial to long-term. You know, they're going to be there to help you along the way.
I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. In 1787, 39 delegates came together to create a government for the